My wife publicly embarrassed me at her promotion celebration, calling me a loser right in front of my dying father. She thought she'd finally broken me. What she didn't realize was that I'm an insurance investigator, and for weeks, I'd been quietly collecting proof of her affair. The next morning changed everything. My name is William Whitman. I'm 52 and work as an insurance investigator in Phoenix. For 18 years, I've been piecing together the truth while people lie straight to my face. Turns out that experience became useful when my own world collapsed. The night everything shifted was supposed to be Veronica's big achievement. She'd just been promoted to senior marketing director and insisted we throw a party at home. I spent 3 days preparing, cleaned the pool, hung the lights, arranged the tables. Our kids, Owen, 17, and Lily, 15, helped without complaint. "Dad, why does Mom want such a big party?" Lily asked. "Your mom worked hard for this promotion, sweetheart." What I didn't add was that Veronica had been treating me like hired help for months. Late nights, business trips, endless criticism. Guests started arriving at 7. Veronica's co-workers from the ad agency. Young, stylish, the picture of success. My parents came down from Flagstaff, Dad leaning on his walker, Mom wincing from her arthritis. "William, dear, this looks wonderful," Mom said, squeezing my hand. I played the perfect host all night, refilling drinks, serving food, making small talk with people who barely noticed me. Veronica owned the room with her stories of client wins and marketing triumphs. Then came the cake. 3 layers of red velvet with gold icing that read, "Congratulations, Veronica." It cost more than a week's groceries, but I wanted her night to be special. When I rolled out the cake, Veronica called for everyone's attention. The patio went silent except for the soft jazz playing in the background. She stood beside me, black cocktail dress shining under the lights, wine glass in hand. "Thank you all for being here tonight," she began, in that polished corporate tone. "This promotion means the world to me, and I couldn't have done it without my incredible team." A few claps followed. I waited, hoping she might thank me for organizing everything. Instead, she turned to me with that smile that always spelled trouble. "And of course, I have to thank my devoted husband, William," she said, her voice cool and sharp. "Always dependable, always predictable, always ready to serve." Awkward laughter rippled through the guests. Then she lifted the cake knife, sliced the first piece with theatrical flair, and handed it to me. "Here's your cake, loser," she said loud enough for everyone to hear. "At least you're good for something." The crowd froze. Some looked away, others stared in disbelief. My parents sat motionless, Dad's hand trembling, Mom pale as a ghost. I took the plate calmly, set it down without saying a word. The party ended soon after. Guests whispered, avoided eye contact, slipped out early. I stayed behind, cleaning up, pretending to be the loyal husband she'd just humiliated. But inside, something broke. The man who spent his life uncovering lies had finally seen the truth about his own. My marriage had been dead far longer than I'd admitted. That night, as Veronica slept soundly beside me, I made a choice. If she wanted to play games, I'd play mine, and I was very good at investigations. The next morning, I woke before dawn. Old habits die hard. Veronica was still asleep, probably dreaming about her next big promotion. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and looked at the wreck left from the night before. Around 7, Owen came in for breakfast. Always observant, just like me. "Dad, what Mom said last night," he began, then stopped. "What about it, son? That wasn't cool." Lily cried herself to sleep. My jaw tightened. Being humiliated was one thing. Hurting my kids was another. "Your mother was excited, son. People say things they don't mean." He gave me a look that said he didn't believe that. Smart kid. After he left for school, I did what I do best. I started investigating. Not officially, just quietly observing what I'd ignored for too long. First stop, our home office. Veronica's laptop now had a password. That was new. Her phone stayed face down during dinner. She took calls in the garage, claiming better reception. I checked our router logs, something most people never think to do. Data usage spiked during her supposed late nights at the office, video calls, file transfers, social media activity, all timestamped when she said she was in meetings. Then I stumbled upon the credit card statements I wasn't meant to see. Charges at restaurants I had never visited. On nights, she claimed to be working late. Hotel stays supposedly for business trips that lasted only one day. yet the bills showed 2 nights. The most revealing discovery came from our family cloud storage. Veronica thought she was tech-savvy, but she had forgotten about automatic photo backups from her old phone. The device had been sitting in our junk drawer, still syncing to her account. I scrolled through months of images, office parties where she looked happier, more relaxed, photos with her marketing team, including a man named Bradley Whitaker from graphics. Young, probably in his mid-40s, with that artistic charm women seem drawn to. In the more recent photos, Bradley appeared more often, standing closer to Veronica, his hand on her shoulder, her laughing at something he said. Then came the pictures that made my coffee go cold. A weekend trip to Sedona. Veronica had told me it was a women's leadership retreat, but there was Bradley sharing a bottle of wine with her at a restaurant. Another photo showed them hiking, his arm around her waist. The final image was taken from a hotel balcony. Veronica in a sundress, Bradley behind her with his arms wrapped around her. I saved everything to an encrypted drive, organized by date and location. 23 years of marriage had taught me to document everything carefully. My phone buzzed with a text from Veronica, "Working late again tonight. Don't wait up." I checked the timestamp, 10:30 a.m. According to the credit card statement, she'd made the same excuse 3 times that week, each coinciding with charges at the same upscale downtown restaurant. I closed the laptop and walked to our bedroom. Veronica's side of the closet held new, expensive clothes I had never seen her wear at home. Lingerie clearly not intended for a husband of 23 years. The woman who called me a loser in front of my parents was leading a double life. But she had made one critical error, underestimating the man who made a living uncovering deception. Sitting on the edge of our bed, surrounded by evidence of her betrayal, I felt something I hadn't in years: relief. Now I knew exactly what I was dealing with. 3 days of surveillance gave me everything I needed. Veronica thought she was clever, forgetting she married an investigator. Tuesday night, she claimed another late meeting. I followed her to Romano's downtown, watching through the window as she shared wine with Bradley. They held hands across the table like teenagers. When he kissed her in the parking lot, I captured it with my telephoto lens. Thursday's client dinner turned out to be at the Marriott on 5th Street. I waited in the lobby, documented their arrival at 6:30, departure at 11:45. Hours for a supposed business meeting seemed excessive. Back home, I organized everything meticulously: digital files, printed photos, credit card receipts, timeline spreadsheets. 23 years of marriage condensed into evidence folders. "Dad, working late again?" Lily asked, finding me in the office at midnight. "Just catching up on a few cases, sweetheart." She studied me with those sharp 15-year-old eyes. "Mom's been different lately." "Mean?" I asked. "What do you mean?" She sat across from my desk. She used to ask about school, friends. Now she complained about everything, as if we were inconveniencing her. My jaw clenched as she mentioned specifics. Last week she told Owen he was lazy like his father, and it made him cry. That sealed it. Humiliating me was painful, but attacking my children was unforgivable. Friday morning, I called my attorney, David Ross. We'd handled insurance cases together for years. "William, what can I do for you?" "I need a divorce lawyer, David. The best one you know." "Sorry to hear that. What's the situation?" "Adultery, financial deception, possibly more. I have evidence." David was silent for a moment. "Margaret Collins is who you want. Tough, no nonsense, handles high-conflict cases. I'll call her today." That afternoon, Margaret called me personally, sharp, no nonsense. "David says you have a situation that needs immediate attention." I explained. "My wife is having an affair with a coworker. She's using our money to fund it and has been verbally abusive toward our children. I have evidence, photos, financial records, timelines. I'm an insurance investigator, so I know how to build a case." Margaret laughed grimly. "Good. Most men come to me with suspicions. You're bringing facts. Can you meet tomorrow?" "Absolutely." That evening, Veronica announced another late night. I didn't follow her. Instead, I spent 3 hours with Margaret reviewing everything I had collected. "This is excellent work, William," she said, examining the photos. "Your wife has been careless. The financial records show clear misuse of marital assets." "What's our next move?" I asked. "We document everything properly, file for divorce citing adultery, and request temporary custody of the children while we investigate her behavior toward them." Margaret replied. How long will that take? She smiled thinly. With evidence this strong, your wife won't know what hit her. Saturday morning, I initiated phase 2. While Veronica slept in, recovering from yet another business dinner, I drove to my parents' house in Flagstaff. Son, you look exhausted, Mom said, opening the door. I need to tell you both something important. We sat in the living room, Dad's walker beside him, Mom's worried eyes fixed on me. Veronica's been having an affair, I said flatly. For months. The promotion party was only the start. Dad's hand trembled on his knee. I'm sorry, William. That woman never deserved you. The kids, Mom asked softly, Owen and Lily? That's why I'm here. Things are about to get ugly, and I need them somewhere safe. I explained the plan. Margaret would file the paperwork Monday morning. Veronica would be served at work for maximum embarrassment. I'd pick up the kids from school and bring them here until things calmed down. Of course, Mom said immediately. They can stay as long as they need. Sunday evening, I sat both kids down in the living room. There's something important you need to know about your mother and me. Owen straightened. Lily grabbed my hand. We're getting a divorce, I said quietly. Your mother's been seeing someone from work. Lily burst into tears. Owen's jaw tightened. I knew something was wrong. She's been awful lately. Where will we live? Lily asked, sniffling. With me, I said. But tomorrow, I'm taking you to Grandma and Grandpa's for a few days while the lawyers sort things out. Why can't we stay here? Owen asked. Because your mother's going to be very angry when she finds out I know about Bradley. Owen's eyes widened. You know his name? I know everything, son. I've been investigating for weeks. Monday morning, I dropped the kids at school and called in sick. By 10 o'clock, I was parked outside Veronica's office. At 10:47, my phone rang. William, it's Margaret. She's been served. Security called me. Apparently, she screamed at the process server and threw the papers across the lobby. Perfect. She'll call soon. Don't answer. Let her stew. I signed the kids out early for a family emergency and headed north to Flagstaff. By the time Veronica realized they were gone, we'd be safely at my parents'. My phone buzzed nonstop, calls, texts, voicemails, but I ignored them all. Phase 1 complete. Now she'd learn what happens when you underestimate a man who's made a career out of uncovering lies. By the time we arrived in Flagstaff, I had 47 missed calls. On the 48th, I finally answered. William, what the hell is going on? Veronica's voice was shrill and panicked. Some lawyers served me papers at work, in front of my entire team. Hello, Veronica. How was your dinner with Bradley last night? Silence. Then, I don't know what you're talking about. Romano's restaurant. Table by the window. You ordered the salmon. He had the steak. You held hands during dessert. You're insane. I was working late. Hotel charges on our credit card say otherwise. Should I read them to you? Another pause. When she spoke again, her tone had changed, cold, calculating. Where are my children, William? Our children are safe. Somewhere you can't reach them right now. You can't use them against me. I'm their mother. A mother who called her husband a loser in front of his dying father. Who told Owen he was lazy like me. Who made Lily cry because you were too busy with your boyfriend to care about your own kids. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Oh, I understand perfectly. You're having an affair with Bradley Whitaker from graphics. You've been using our money for hotels and dinners while emotionally abusing our children. Her breathing turned ragged. I want my kids back. Now. Talk to your lawyer. Oh wait, you'll need to hire one first. I ended the call and powered off my phone. Mom had lunch ready for Owen and Lily. They sat quietly, processing everything. Dad, will Mom try to take us away? Lily asked. She'll try, I said. But I have proof of what she's done. The court will see the truth. Owen looked up from his sandwich. Good. I'm tired of walking on eggshells around her. That evening, Margaret called on my parents' landline. William, your wife hired Theodore Strickland. Expensive and ruthless. He's known for dirty tactics. What does that mean for us? It means she's preparing to fight hard. Strickland specializes in high-conflict divorces. He'll try to paint you as unstable, maybe even claim you kidnapped the kids. Can he do that? He can try, but we have the evidence. And there's more. Veronica's HR department contacted me. Her affair violates company policy. They're launching an internal investigation. I smiled grimly. How did they find out? Anonymous tip. Someone sent them the same photos you showed me. I hadn't sent anything to her company, but I had a good idea who did. Sometimes, justice finds its own way. What's our next step? I asked. Emergency custody hearing Thursday. Be prepared to testify about her treatment of the children, Margaret said. And William, your wife called 17 more times after you hung up. She's desperate. Good. Desperate people make mistakes. Wednesday morning brought an unexpected visitor. Theodore Strickland, silver-haired and expensively dressed, stood at my parents' doorstep. Mr. Whitman, I represent your wife. We need to discuss returning the children immediately. The children are exactly where they should be, safe from their mother's emotional abuse. Strickland's smile was cold. Emotional abuse is a serious accusation. I hope you can prove it. I can, I said. Witnesses, recordings, documented incidents. Your client has been too preoccupied with her boyfriend to notice the damage she's causing. Alleged boyfriend. Mrs. Whitman denies any impropriety. I pulled out my phone and showed him the photo of Veronica and Bradley kissing in the restaurant parking lot. She can deny it all she wants. Doesn't make it any less real. Strickland studied the photo, expression unchanged. One photograph proves nothing. Could be taken out of context. I have 47 more. Plus credit card statements, hotel receipts, and a full timeline. Your client has been careless. For the first time, Strickland looked uncertain. My client is open to reconciliation, maybe counseling. Your client humiliated me in front of my parents and our children. Then she emotionally abused those same children while having an affair. There's nothing to reconcile. The children belong somewhere safe, not with Veronica. After Strickland left, I called Margaret. He came to intimidate you, she said. Means they're worried. How did the kids react? They didn't see him. I handled it outside. Good. I have news about Veronica's job. HR finished the preliminary investigation. Bradley has been terminated. Veronica's on administrative leave pending further review. She'll blame you for that, too. Let her. It proves a pattern of poor judgment, beneficial for our custody case. That afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. William, it's me. Veronica's voice sounded small, desperate. How did you get this number? I called your work. William, I need help. They fired Bradley. They're investigating me. My career is ruined. You ruined your own career along with our marriage. Please, I made mistakes, but I love you. I love our family. We can fix this. You called me a loser in front of 50 people. Veronica, you mocked me in front of my dying father. You can't fix that. I was drunk, excited about the promotion. I didn't mean it. I rehearsed it. Ruby heard me practicing in the car. Silence. The children need stability. Something you cannot provide while busy destroying lives. I'll do anything, William. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. What I want is for you to sign the divorce papers and agree to supervised visitation. Your affair partner is gone. Your job is in jeopardy. Don't lose your children too. I can't lose them. They're all I have left. You should have thought about that before choosing Bradley over your family. I hung up. Tomorrow's custody hearing would decide the children's immediate future. Tonight, they were safe, eating mom's cooking and doing homework at the kitchen table. Sometimes, that's all a father can ask for. Thursday morning felt like stepping onto a battlefield. Margaret sat beside me, evidence folders perfectly organized. Across the courtroom, Veronica whispered frantically with Theodore Strickland, desperation visible even in her designer suit. Judge Patricia Manning entered, stern and no-nonsense. Emergency custody hearing for Owen and Lily Whitman, she announced. Mr. Strickland, your client claims unlawful removal. Strickland stood confidently. Your Honor, my client found her children missing without justification. Objection, Margaret said calmly. Mr. Whitman removed the children to protect them from emotional abuse. We have documentation. Strickland called Veronica first. She played the devastated mother perfectly. I love them deeply, Your Honor. I work hard to provide for our family. Finding them gone was devastating. Has your husband ever threatened to take the children? He's become unstable since my promotion. Jealous, controlling. Margaret cross-examined relentlessly. Mrs. Whitman, March 15th. What did you tell Owen about his grades? I don't recall specifics. You called him lazy like his father, made him cry. Remember now? Margaret presented audio evidence. My phone had recorded that dinner. Veronica's voice filled the courtroom. You're just like your pathetic father. Owen, No ambition. Should have expected better from a loser's son. Judge Manning's expression hardened. Veronica went pale. Margaret continued with credit card evidence. Romano's Restaurant, March 20th. Marriott Hotel, March 22nd. Explain these charges during supposed work meetings. Business expenses, yet you told your husband you were working late at the office, lying to him or defrauding your employer. Photos followed. Veronica with Bradley at restaurants, hotels, and romantic getaways. A clear timeline of deliberate deceit. When I testified, I presented everything systematically. Financial records, witness statements from neighbors who had heard her yelling at the children, teacher reports noting behavioral changes. What outcome do you seek, Mr. Whitman? Judge Manning asked. Temporary custody, Your Honor. Supervised visitation until she proves she can prioritize their well-being. Judge Manning studied the evidence for 20 minutes. Based on substantial proof of emotional abuse and parental misconduct, temporary custody is awarded to Mr. Whitman. Mrs. Whitman receives supervised visitation twice weekly, contingent on completing counseling. Veronica collapsed in tears. Strickland looked stunned. Outside, Margaret smiled grimly. Your documentation made this easy. I called my parents immediately. We won. The kids come home this weekend. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Friday brought an unexpected call from Margaret. Veronica wanted settlement talks, joint custody instead of supervised visitation. If you accept the divorce terms, no deal, Margaret said. She had lost that right when she chose Bradley over her family. Strickland had hinted she possessed damaging information about my job, probably just a bluff. That afternoon, Veronica called directly. William, we need to meet. I have information about your position at Phoenix Mutual. The Henderson case. Meet me at Copper Creek Park in 1 hour. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Veronica sat alone at a picnic table, looking smaller than ever. Dark circles, wrinkled clothes, confidence completely gone. Thank you for coming. Say what you need. I made terrible mistakes. The affair, cruel words, how I treated you and the kids. I was drowning and made destructive choices. Is this an apology? She pulled out her phone. The Henderson insurance case. I know you falsified evidence, backdated statements, manipulated timestamps. That's a lie. I have proof. Emails you deleted, original files with metadata, correspondence about covering timeline issues. She showed email threads that seemed damning, though taken out of context. Phoenix Mutual's board would find this interesting. Your career would be over. What do you want? Joint custody. Equal parenting time. No supervision. I studied her desperate face. This was her final card. Veronica, even if you could destroy my career, I won't let you harm our children anymore. You're calling my bluff. You're a liar and a terrible mother. Send whatever you want to my employer. Her face crumpled. Please, William. I can't lose them completely. You lost them when you chose Bradley. When you called me a loser in front of my dying father. When your affair mattered more than their well-being. I stood to leave. William, please. I'm begging you. Beg your lawyer. Driving home, Margaret called. Veronica was terminated today. Ethics violations regarding Bradley. Good. Bradley filed a complaint claiming she threatened his career when he tried ending things. Your wife has a pattern of blackmail. She just tried it on me. What did you tell her? To go to hell. Margaret laughed. Good man. 3 months later, life had settled into a rhythm I'd almost forgotten. Owen and Lily thrived in their new routine, no longer tiptoeing around or fearing verbal attacks. Our home felt peaceful again. Dad, Coach Williams wants to know if he can help with the baseball fundraiser, Owen said over breakfast. He'd made varsity in junior year, a milestone Veronica had dismissed as unimportant. Of course. What do they need? Someone to organize the silent auction. Said you're good with details. I smiled. Being recognized for competence instead of mocked felt revolutionary. Lily looked up from her homework. Mrs. Patterson asked if I'd chaperone the Science Fairfield trip. You're the best dad ever, she said. These moments reminded me why the fight had been worth it. The divorce was finalized in August. Veronica's attempts to overturn the custody arrangement failed spectacularly when Bradley testified about her manipulative behavior during their affair. She had promised to leave me for him, then blamed him when her career collapsed. Margaret had been brilliant throughout. Veronica destroyed her own credibility. The judge saw exactly who she really was. Veronica's supervised visits became increasingly rare. The kids started finding excuses to avoid visits, and eventually, Veronica stopped scheduling them altogether. Last I heard, she had moved to California, claiming Arizona held too many bad memories. My position at Phoenix Mutual survived her attempted blackmail. She had actually sent fabricated evidence to HR, but the investigation quickly exposed her lies. The company's IT department traced the manipulated documents back to her personal accounts. My integrity has never been questioned here, my supervisor told me. The promotion came with a 20% raise and the option to work remotely twice a week, perfect for a single father managing school schedules and activities. Saturday morning, Owen joined me in the garage, helping organize tools I had neglected during the chaos. "Dad, can I ask something?" "Always, son. Do you miss Mom?" I considered the question carefully. I missed the woman I thought she was, the mother you deserved, but that person may never have existed. "I don't miss her," Owen said quietly. "Is that bad?" "It's honest. You can love someone and still recognize they're toxic. Protecting yourself isn't wrong." We worked in comfortable silence, father and son, rebuilding more than just the garage. That evening, Lily curled up beside me on the couch during movie night, something she hadn't done in years while Veronica lived here. "Dad, are you happy now?" "Very happy, sweetheart. Are you the happiest you've been since you were little?" "Before Mom got mean." I kissed the top of her head, grateful for second chances and the courage to fight for what mattered most. My phone buzzed with a text from Margaret. "Saw the Phoenix Business Journal article about your promotion. Well deserved. How are the kids?" I typed back, "Thriving. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being brave enough to put them first. Some victories are worth every battle scar." 8 months after the promotion party that changed everything, I stood in my new office overlooking downtown Phoenix, senior claims director at Phoenix Mutual, leading a team of 12 investigators, building the fraud detection department I had always envisioned. My supervisor announced, "Someone here to see you," my assistant said. Bradley Whitaker stood nervously in the doorway, looking older than in the surveillance photos. "Mr. Whitman, can we speak privately?" I nodded. "What can I do for you, Bradley?" He sat heavily. "I want to apologize for the affair, for what happened to your family, for my role in destroying everything." "Why now?" "Because I finally understand what she did to all of us." Veronica is engaged to some lawyer in Los Angeles, her third engagement since the divorce. She called me last week, wanting to reconnect as friends. Asked if I missed our time together. Said she made a mistake choosing her career over love. When I told her I'm happily married now, she completely lost it. "How so?" She screamed that I ruined her life, that she'd sacrificed everything for me, that I owed her, then threatened to expose our affair if I didn't give her money. I wasn't surprised. Same pattern she tried with me. My wife already knew. I told her everything before we married. Veronica's threats were empty. Bradley showed me screenshots of texts, Veronica demanding $10,000, threatening exposure, growing unhinged when he refused. She's broke, living in a studio, working retail. The lawyer she's engaged to apparently doesn't know about her past. Why tell me this? She's planning something. Asked detailed questions about your job, your house, the kids. Said she wasn't done with the Whitman family. A chill ran down my spine. What kind of questions? Owen's baseball schedule. Lily's school activities. She's been tracking your social media with fake accounts. I called security immediately. Bradley had more. Veronica had taken recent photos outside our house. That afternoon, I met with Phoenix PD and hired a private security firm. Restraining order filed. House security upgraded. Kids' schools notified. Veronica's obsession had become stalking. Margaret wasn't surprised. Narcissists often escalate when they lose control. Think she'll actually try something? She's desperate, broke, and her new relationship is built on lies. Dangerous combination. 2 weeks later, Veronica was arrested outside Lily's school. Security cameras caught her following my daughter, taking photos, questioning other students about our family. The stalking charges combined with violating the restraining order earned her 6 months in county jail and a permanent prohibition from contacting us. "Dad, is it really over?" Lily asked after sentencing. "It's over, sweetheart. She can't hurt us anymore." That evening, I called my parents. "You protected your children, William. That's what real men do," Dad said, weak but proud. Owen graduated valedictorian that spring. Lily made honor roll every semester. Both thrived without their mother's toxic presence. At Owen's graduation, I sat with my parents, watching him accept scholarships to 3 universities. "She's really missing out," Mom whispered. "Her choice," I replied. "Her loss." Some stories end with justice. Others end with peace. The best ones end with both. Standing ovation for my son, surrounded by people who truly loved him, I realized something profound. Veronica hadn't just lost a family when she chose her affair. She had lost the chance to witness the extraordinary people her children were becoming, a consequence she would live with forever.